Greetings. We are now on to our next exercise, which is perspective. And we're going to be doing 1 point perspective first. I'm going to show you how we can do an object below the horizon line. Half below, half above, and then one completely above the horizon line, almost as if it's floating above the air, or in the air, above our heads. So, what is a horizon line? Horizon line is where we are, where I am, my height, the height of where my eyes are, which would be this. This is my horizon line. And my vanishing point is where I am in regard to my object on the horizon line, in space. So I'm going to first establish a tall horizon line, because what I see of this box, I am above the box and this is my eyesight. So that would be my horizon line. And these things are going to my vanishing point, which is my eye. So I'm going to establish now a horizon line and construct that box in 1 point perspective. So first thing, a horizon line. Now, the next thing we have to do is what we call sighting. So I need to find out, well, first of all, let me go back a little bit. In order for this to be 1 point perspective, I have to explain to you that what you are seeing is parallel to you. You will be seeing a flat plane towards you. So if I am going to do a drawing in 1 point perspective, you would have to have a flat surface, either vertical or horizontal, facing you. And it will be going to 1 point perspective, which means one vanishing point. 2 point perspective is a box that you are seeing with two angles and two vanishing points. That's not what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing the simplest form. So now I have a horizon line, which is my height, and my vanishing point will be where my eye is in the room, in space, in relation to the box. But the box must have a parallel to me, a flat plane. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is establish my form. So my form is roughly a long rectangle. So it is longer into space than it is wider. So I'm going to establish an arbitrary form here, and I'm going to say it's going to be about, let's say, 6 inches by 3 inches. A relationship which I see that this is, the height of this is probably half the size of the length. So I'm going to start out with always my, what we call ground line. So that's my ground line. Now, like when constructing any object, especially geometric shapes, boxes, you first construct as if you were doing architecture from the foundation, from the base first. So I always do my base. Now I have to transport an angle. I have to see where this angle is. I have to find that angle, because that angle is going to give me my vanishing point. So the first thing I have to do is transport that angle. So what I do is, I do like a clock. It's 12 o'clock, and I put it at this vertical point here. And then I go down like this, like a clock, not in depth, but flat, till my eye, one closed eye, and I'm going to copy that angle or transport that angle onto here. And that'll give me my vanishing point. So I go to this corner, I put this visually here, extend my arm, lock my arm, then go down, find that angle, and then transport that angle just like this as best I can. And I transport that angle with my pencil. Now that I have that, all I have to do is find my vanishing point, follow that line to my horizon line, and I now have my vanishing point. Okay? That gave me the vanishing point in 1 point perspective. So 1 point perspective vanishing point right there. So I've marked it. Now I'm going to do the other part, the foundation. So now I have to do this with my charcoal pencil to my same vanishing point. Now we have to do what engineers call a guesstimate. I have to more or less, because you cannot measure. Here I can measure up and I can measure length, but I cannot measure depth because it is a flat two-dimensional surface. So I have to do my guesstimate of where this ends in the back. So now I just go back parallel to this and I go like this and I say, okay, that looks like it could be my vanishing point or my back wall of the box. So there I've done. Now I have my foundation. I can start erasing these lines so as not to confuse you. Okay? Now I have my foundation. Upon that foundation, I'm going to build my L-shaped front face here. Now I can always measure upward. So I don't need to take that anywhere. I just measure and I calculate 3 inches here. And I'm using this as a guideline. You can use a triangle. And I do the same thing here. Get my 3 inches with my ruler. And now I can just connect those 2 lines. And I have my foundation and I have my front plane. Now all I have to do is these lines go to my 1 point vanishing point, okay? Side, left side goes to my vanishing point. Right side goes to my vanishing point. Always make sure that they are right on. Now all I have to do is bring this vertically up to there, this vertically up to there. So these just come up, and then we connect, and we got our box rectangle in perspective. So up it goes, trying to get this as straight as possible. Connect. And there is my box in transparency. I'm disconnecting lines because I don't want to confuse you anymore. Now I can erase all my superficial internal lines so that it looks like a solid cardboard box. Geometric shape. So now I'm going to get rid of my internal lines that are not necessary, that you will not see if this were a solid. It has helped me to construct my geometric shape, and I can just kind of outline it. Emphasize it. And now we're ready to go for a different shape in a different position. What happens sometimes with perspective is when you erase the other lines, or when you still have the other lines, if you're not careful and put your stronger lines up front and weaker lines in the back, then what will happen is you get inverted perspective and it confuses you. Just erase the lines that are not necessary, the internal line, and now you have your rectangular box in perspective 1 point. Okay? On to the next shape and to the next, still 1 point perspective, but from a different angle.